Welcome to this video. We're going to talk about how to build a defined physique. And this video is not going to be about bodybuilding, extreme muscles. It's going to be generally about how to start going to the gym, how to start taking care of your lifestyle. I'm making this video because a couple of years ago, that was me. And I realized that my lifestyle, my physique, my goals, my aspirations, everything basically did not align with what I wanted. And that's me now. So that was me a couple of years ago. That's me a couple of months ago, weeks, months ago. But you see, it's not about having huge amounts of muscle. It's being more defined, it's building more muscle. It's being more in shape and healthier in the process. So this video is for those who want to start going to the gym, start to build muscle naturally. Again, don't trust everything that you see on social media. Adopt a healthier lifestyle, and they don't know where to start. And there are three kind of dimensions I came up for when it comes to starting this whole process: mindset, gym basics, nutrition, recovery. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, in this mindset section, we're going to talk about motivation. Motivation is usually the biggest problem that's preventing people from reaching their goals, because people have initially some sort of initial motivation when it comes to, oh no, I want to start going to the gym, I want to start doing this, I want to start losing weight, whatever it is for you. In the beginning, people are always motivated. The problem is that motivation will fade. Motivation is not designed to last. This is not something you can rely on. And this is a mistake most people make, and this is a mistake that will lead you to stop doing the things that will lead you to the outcome that you want, because you're out of motivation, which is going to happen over and over and over again. And so that's why you're going to go up and down and up and down. If you rely on motivation, you're never going to have the results that you're looking for. So the problem with motivation is that it's on and off, and that you can't trust it. So you're going to trust a different source of energy, of kind of willpower to do those things. And this is going to come out of discipline. So you're going to use less motivation and basically more self-discipline. And you got to rebalance it. So if you want to understand more about self-discipline, I made a whole bunch of video about this on this channel. Feel free or watch other people's video. You want to use more discipline and you want to use less motivation. That's the first thing that's most important in this process. Now, when it comes to going to the gym, I was especially anxious in the beginning because of the kind of social component of it. So like, oh, I gotta show that I don't know what I'm doing at the gym in front of people. People are looking at me, people are judging me. And this kind of exposure to this social environment can feel frightening. And it can be a reason why some people are not going to the gym currently. In order to resolve that issue about what I call the gym anxiety, we're gonna go through two different things. First is exposure. So you're not going to get away by just building a gym in your garage and just training outside of the outside world, but you're going to expose yourself. You're going to willingly go to this environment that's anxiety provoking and calm yourself down, realizing that there's nothing that's going to happen to you in the gym. Exposure is really useful when it comes to anxiety, and it's basically gradually exposing yourself to the stimulus that triggers the anxiety, but controlling the response of your body. So use exposure. And the second thing is stop social comparison altogether, because people have different genetics, people have different lifestyle, people have different goals, people have different everything. And therefore, social comparison is really not useful when you're trying to change your life and you're comparing yourself to the most defined guy in the gym. Because you don't know what they did to get there. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the full reality of their lives. You don't know anything. So the comparison is not useful. And you won't help but make it. So your mind is going to trigger those comparisons with other people in the gym. If you feel like the comparison is starting to kind of enter your mind, you don't pay attention to it. You leave it be. So that's okay. That's okay if your brain is trying to get you to compare yourself to other people. You just won't do it because you have other manners to attend. You have other stuff to do. like working out. This one is tricky because you're going to stay out of it. Stay out of this one, okay? And exposure, we're going to use it as a tool to resolve the anxiety. Now, the last one is small habit. Most people have an expectation problem, which is going to link back to the motivation problem that I talked about in the beginning. Most people are going to have unrealistic expectations about what they should look like, what they should accomplish, what should happen as a result of their doing. And I see that all the time with people that come to me for coaching. You don't know what's going to happen or the timeline or realistic gains, or you can't have realistic expectations unless you have been through the process a first time. And this is, for example, the second time. That I believe. But if it's the first time you go to the gym and you're starting to rebuild your life, you have no idea what's going to happen and you can't predict. So do not start predicting, because it's dangerous, because you're going to build expectations in the back of your mind and they're going to haunt you. Because if you thought that you'd have huge biceps in 6 months after you started going to the gym and you don't have those, then your brain's gonna like, what are you doing? Like, we expected that, you didn't get it. So what's up with that? And your motivation is gonna go down, like it's gonna sink. You're gonna be naked again without any motivation. Expectations are gonna overwhelm you. So don't go into expectations. Don't go for like a dream body or like a comparison body. So someone that you find on Instagram to like give you motivation and like aspire to resemble their whatever, the persona, their bodies or whatnot. Just be realistic. And this is overly simple, but this is especially important. And people are not realistic when it comes to going to the gym because of all the fitness content that you see online. People think that, they're, because they saw Dwayne The Rock train and they do the same, they're going to look the same. But it doesn't work like that. So just be realistic, okay? So that concludes it for the mindset part. Now, when the common mistakes and problems, I kind of listed it, and we're going to repeat ourselves a bit here, but it's important nonetheless. You got to be careful. This is what I see most often with people. Too many expectations, that's for sure. I talked to you about that. Unrealistic idea, the angle, the same thing goes back to expectations. Do not expect anything. Just go through the process and be willing to discover what happens. Like just kind of the willpower to get in the process is going to be enough of a struggle. Being impatient, the most patient person on earth is not patient enough. So just try to cultivate as much patience as you get, because the results are going to take a bit of time, because we're talking about adaptation of muscles, adaptation of tissues, adaptation of bones, adaptation of everything. So that takes time. And if you've never been through a process like this, and the last one is not giving yourself enough of a chance, because too many people try and go to the gym and try and change their lifestyles, but they're not even believing the fact that they can do it. You got to believe the fact that you can undertake this. Like you're able to do it. You're able to put one step in front of the other and just keep going. And that's especially important when it comes to the gym and those long-term changes that we talked about. Second one, we're going to talk about gym basics. So now this is going to be everything that's around training, that's around building muscle, that's around, lifting weights. Okay, so there are 3 components here too. Choosing a gym. You have 2 different options. And I used to think that you have to learn everything by yourself, but then I became a coach and then I helped people with all of it. And then I was like, okay, this is an alternative for people that have more money, but don't have the time, or they don't want to invest a lot of time into learning what to do. So you have what I call the commercial gym. So commercial gym way. This is what I did. So this was me. This is learning everything by yourself and applying it. And that takes tremendous amount of time, because you have to learn off of YouTube. You have to download either courses. You have to learn whatever it is and test it out in the gym and wait for results to come or not, because that didn't work for you, for example. So that's learning everything by yourself. The second version of that, of choosing a gym and starting going to the gym, is through a private gym or coaching or private trainer or whatever it is, like someone that helps you do it. This is more expensive, so I'm going to put dollars here. But if you're 100% sure that that's what you want, then I recommend it. With the condition is the fact that you have to find someone that's reliable, so a coach that's reliable. But besides that, it's going to be huge the amount of time and energy and the self-deception that you're going to not going to experience if you go for a coach that knows exactly how to guide you through this process. And this is going to speed up the time. So it may cost money, but the time that it's going to take is going to go down because you're going to get results way quicker if someone knows exactly how to guide you through it. Inside the gym, there are two fundamental things that we need to talk about, and those things are technique and contraction. Technique is being able to perform the exercises in the right way. Contraction is being able to perform the exercise using the right muscle, targeting the right muscle that you're focusing on. So for example, technique. If I'm doing a bench press, I want my technique to be good so that I don't injure myself and so that it allows me to have the benefits that I want from the exercise. And in doing this bench press, I want to contract and focus the contraction onto my chest most of the time to have muscle development. So those two things are crucial, and those things are the only things you should focus on when it comes to going to the gym in the first place. So if you've never been to a gym, those two things, forget about sets and reps. They don't matter if you don't have technique and contraction. The exercise doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. So all these things that you see on Instagram, the workout plan, magic, whatever it is, new technique, new whatever, don't pay attention to it. There are fundamentals when it comes to movement that have been around for probably centuries now and that are the same. So learn how to do a squat, learn how to do a deadlift, learn how to do a bench press, learn how to pull with your back, learn how to do a bicep curl, etc. Those things are never going to go away, and you're never going to be able to skip those things. Even if you have the best machines in the world, you still have to learn the technique first and the contraction that comes with it. Now, something that can help in terms of learning the contraction is, and some people will go for it, other people won't. It's anatomy and biomechanic. If you want to go and learn for yourself, so if you're young and you have time and you don't have money like I did at the time, learn anatomy and start learning biomechanic by yourself, because this is going to open your mind and your eyes and understand what's happening and why you're going to the gym and how to behave in the gym. Oh, there you go. Oh, I put it in here. So essential movements, yeah, we talked about this. This is going back to technique and then contraction. Learn first the technique and then the contraction. Okay. Also, it's not about the plan. So it's not about a magic workout plan. It's not about the exercises that you do. It's not about the number of sets. It's not about the number of reps. At first, it's just about doing the right thing, doing it right, using proper muscle groups. That's it when it comes to gym basics. There's no need to overwhelm you. Now, if you're already into it a little bit, then I suggest you learn from other resources that are going to be able to help you in terms of biomechanics. Gym mistakes, skipping fundamentals. People that don't want to go through learning how to do a bench press, jump on a machine and start loading it like crazy. There you go. Second mistake is loading it too quickly. You don't want to do that because it's very counterproductive. Even if you may have some development, you're going to develop injuries and it's going to prevent you from going higher because you're not going to be able to perform with the right technique and use the right muscle group. So even if you push like a bull, at some point, you're just going to be exhausted. You're just going to be just dying because you're just pushing yourself to the gym and you don't even see the results because you're just exhausting your body in its entirety. Where if you want to build muscle, you just focus on one part of your body, exhaust it, and then move on to the next one. And the third one, which is not related to those two, is to not intensify your workouts enough. And I see that a lot of people that are more anxious and that have not been active during their childhood, so not playing any sports or whatnot. They're scared that intensifying their workouts will lead to injury, but it really does not if you have the right technique and contraction. Last part is nutrition and recovery. There are two main things that people highly overlook when it comes to lifestyle. So this nutrition and recovery are usually called lifestyle. There's nutrition and there's sleep. Let's talk about nutrition. So first, there's something fundamental to understand when it comes to nutrition, and it's calories in, calories out. You probably already know about this. This is the scientific explanation for how to lose weight or how to put on weight. Now, if you want to build muscle and you don't have any fat to lose, like I did at the time, the idea is to eat in a caloric surplus. So if you want to build muscle, okay, the idea is to go for more calories. If you want, that's like the first objective that you have. So the first goal that you will have is to build muscle. You want to up the calories. You want to eat more. You want to be in a surplus so that your body has enough calories to take them and use them to build muscle. Now, if you have fat to lose, if you want to do body recomposition or weight loss first, whatever you call it, then you want to go for, and building muscle is not the first thing that you want to do, but you can do it afterwards. That's okay. Then if you want less fat, you're going to go in a caloric deficit. So you're going to eat less calories that your body needs in order to be able to lose the fat. Because if you eat less calories, if there's less calories in your food, your body is going to have to compensate with the lack of calories using the resources that it has, hence the fat that you have on your body. Okay, that's the most important thing. Now, macronutrients. Whenever you want to build muscle or lose fat, the first thing that you're going to do is to up the proteins. Because proteins are the most important things when it comes to building muscle. And they're also the thing that are going to prevent you from losing muscle if you're losing weight at the moment. When it comes to carbs and fat, I don't really care as long as you have the first objective is kind of ticked. So if you're in the caloric surplus, if you want to build muscle, and if you're in caloric deficit, if you want to lose fat. But protein, in both cases, you have to up your protein. And it has to be either like around 25 to 30% of your intake. Like if your intake in terms of calories, if you use an app, or we generally use 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. So that means that if you weigh, I weigh 185 pounds. So I'm going to go for around 185 grams of protein per day. And that's going to be the only thing that you have to remember is 1 gram of body pound per day. If you're in kilograms, then, multiply that by 2.2. So it's 2.2 grams per kilograms per day. There you go. Last thing we need to talk about if you want to build muscle is sleep, which is half of the time the problem and the reason why people don't put on muscle or as much muscle as they should. Because there's two components to it. People only think about the quantity. Only. People think that, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night, so this is good. It's not. Quality is arguably even more important than quantity, because if you're sleeping 8 hours, but it's 8 hours interrupted, you're checking your phone in the middle of the night, you're kind of, you're getting startled by people screaming in the street, then it's not good. And even if you sleep a lot, doesn't mean that you sleep well. So the cue that I tell my clients is like, do you feel rested when you wake up in the morning? Do you need caffeine to go through your day? And if your answer is yes, then your sleep is probably not good quality. It's not about just quantity, it's about quality too. And the main reason why people don't experience a quality sleep is because they have perturbators. So things that are disturbing their sleep, things like screens, things like caffeine, things like alcohol, things like anxiety. Those things are going to prevent you from sleeping well. And sleep is the only state during which your body heals, during which your body creates muscle, during which your hormones are released so that you can put on size. Therefore, sleep is really important, and especially for young people like young adults or teenagers or whatnot. It's really hard for them to correct and change their sleep patterns because of social events. So we're going to talk about I think I put it here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, going out drinking. This is probably like the most detrimental thing you can do after a session is to go out, drink, and go to bed like 3 in the morning. Your body is gonna be dying because you're destroying your body, tiring it and everything, and then you're not going to give it the resources it needs in order to recover from it. This is like really bad. Poor sleep in general. So for people that are stressed or for people that work a lot or whatnot, irregular sleep or not enough sleep is bad. And then when it comes to nutrition, it's usually not tracking your intake. So people have no idea what to eat or the right amount. And the last thing that is the problem is the consistency. So if there's no consistency in your nutrition, it's not good. So anyway, let me know what you think about this video. For those that are interested, I put a 50% discount code on Fitness Autonomy. I hope this helps. Trust the process.